Sigiriya, ancient rock fortress near Dambulla, Sri Lanka. Sigiriya or Sinagiri, Lion Rock Sinhala, Tamil, Sikiriya Sinkakiri, pronounced Sigiriya, is an ancient rock fortress located in the northern Mattal district near the town of Dambulla in the central province, Sri Lanka. The name refers to a site of historical and archaeological significance that is dominated by a massive. According to the ancient Sri Lankan chronicle the Culavamsa, this site was selected by King Kashyapa, 477-495 AD, for his new capital. He built his palace on the top of this rock and decorated its sides with colorful frescoes. On a small plateau about halfway up the side of this rock he built a gateway in the form of an enormous lion. The name of this place is derived from this structure, Sinagiri, the Lion Rock, an etymology similar to Sinhapura, the Sanskrit name of Singapore, the Lion City. The capital and the royal palace was abandoned after the king's death. It was used as a Buddhist monastery until the 14th century. Sigiriya today is a UNESCO-listed World Heritage Site. It is one of the best preserved examples of ancient urban planning. History. Legendary past. Lal Srinivas and Mirando Abisekara described Sigiriya as a post-historical archaeology turning point of Ravanan. According to them, Sigiriya may be the Alakamandava, city of the gods, that was built up before 50 centuries ago by King Kuvara, who was the half-brother of Ravana, Ravan, as described in the Ramayana. According to the palm leaf book Puskola Potha, of Ravana Veda, about Ravana, the architect of the Sigiriya was a Danava called Maya Danava. He built up Sigiriya on the instructions given by King Vishtavasa, Vishwavasamuni, the father of Ravana. During that period the Sigiriya was called Alakamandava, and during the period of King Kuvara it was called Chithrakuta. After the death of Ravana, Vibhishana became the king and he shifted the kingdom to Kelaniya. As per this book, Chitharaja had used Alakamandava as his residence. Chitharaja was a relation of Vibhishana and a patrician of Yaka. It was also stated that Chitharaja was one of the individuals who helped Prince Pandukabhaya to get the kingship. Parents of Pandukabhaya were descended from the tribe of Chitharaja. In addition, Ravana Veda was also described that Prince Kasapa, who was the son of King Darthasana, has selected the Chithrakuta as his residence due to the fact that her mother was a follower of Yaka belief and also she descended from him. King Kasapa was the only king who did reconstruction and maintained the Chithrakuta as done by the king Ravana. The famous wall paintings in the Chithrakuta, later Sigiriya, can be treated as displaying about the Sinhala land, i.e. Sri Lanka. The Ravana Veda explains that the picture of blue-colored lady represents the Yaka tribe and other ladies represent the tribes of Naga, Serpentine, Deva, divine, and Gandharva, celestial musicians, and the beautiful flowers show the unity of the country. Archaeological remains and features. In 1831 Major Jonathan Forbes of the 78th Highlanders of the British Army, while returning on horseback from a trip to Polonnaruwa, encountered the bush-covered summit of Sigiriya. Sigiriya came to the attention of antiquarians and, later, archaeologists. Archaeological work at Sigiriya began on a small scale in the 1890s. H.C.P. Bell was the first archaeologist to conduct extensive research on Sigiriya. The Cultural Triangle Project, launched by the government of Sri Lanka, focused its attention on Sigiriya in 1982. Archaeological work began on the entire city for the first time under this project. There was a sculpted lion's head above the legs and paws flanking the entrance, but the head collapsed years ago. Sigiriya consists of an ancient citadel built by King Kashyapa during the 5th century. The Sigiriya site contains the ruins of an upper palace located on the flat top of the rock, a mid-level terrace that includes the lion gate and the mirror wall with its frescoes. The lower palaces clings to the slopes below the rocks. The moats, walls and gardens of the palace extended for a few hundred meters from the base of the rock. The site was both a palace and a fortress. The upper palace on the top of the rock includes cisterns cut into the rock. Site plan. Sigiriya is considered to be one of the most important urban planning sites of the first millennium, and the site plan is considered very elaborate and imaginative. The plan combined concepts of symmetry and asymmetry to intentionally interlock the man-made geometrical and natural forms of the surroundings. On the west side of the rock lies a park for the royals, laid out on a symmetrical plan. The park contains water-retaining structures, including sophisticated surface, subsurface hydraulic systems, some of which are working today. The south contains a man-made reservoir. These were extensively used from the previous capital of the dry zone of Sri Lanka. 5 gates were placed at entrances. The more elaborate western gate is thought to have been reserved for the royals. Frescoes. John Still in 1907 wrote, "The whole face of the hill appears to have been a gigantic picture gallery, the largest picture in the world perhaps." The paintings would have covered most of the western face of the rock, an area 140 meters long and 40 meters high. There are references in the graffiti to 500 ladies in these paintings. However, most have been lost forever. More frescoes, different from those on the rock face, can be seen elsewhere, for example on the ceiling of the location called the Cobra Hood Cave. Although the frescoes are classified as in the Anuradhapura period, the painting style is considered unique, the line and style of application of the paintings differing from Anuradhapura paintings. The lines are painted in a form which enhances the sense of volume of the figures. The paint has been applied in sweeping strokes, using more pressure on one side, giving the effect of a deeper color tone towards the edge. Other paintings of the Anuradhapura period contain similar approaches to painting, but do not have the sketchy lines of the Sigiriya style, having a distinct artist's boundary line. The true identity of the ladies in these paintings still have not been confirmed. There are various ideas about their identity. Some believe that they are the ladies of the kings, while others think that they are women taking part in religious observances. These pictures have a close resemblance to paintings seen in the Ajanta caves in India. Subjects of the Sigiriya frescoes paintings. These damsels have high foreheads shaping the faces with enticing doe eyes, a rose-colored blush on the cheeks and lips as lotus buds look down from the gallery where they reside. These lovely maidens wear blouses of the gossamer veil, the texture of which is silken cobwebs woven in the wind. 7 layers of this diaphanous material is like evening dew on the grass and similar to running water. Mirror wall. Originally this wall was so highly polished that the king could see himself whilst he walked alongside it. Made of brick masonry and covered in highly polished white plaster, the wall is now partially covered with verses scribbled by visitors, some of them dating from as early as the 8th century. People of all types wrote on the wall, on varying subjects such as love, irony, and experiences of all sorts. Further writing on the mirror wall now has been banned for the protection of the old writings. The Archaeological Commissioner of Ceylon, Senarath Paranavathana, deciphered 685 verses written in the 8th, 9th and 10th centuries CE on the mirror wall. One such poem from these long past centuries, roughly translated from Sinhala, is Thayambudal, the writer's name. Came with hundreds of people to see Sigiriya. Since all the others wrote poems, I did not.